Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Bleach Anime Returns. Today we are back with a brand new Bleach YouTuber who's actually more new to the scene that we've seen, and his name is Flames of Rebirth. You can say hello.
What's going on, guys? I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I noticed that we had a lot of the same mutuals. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago when I dropped a follow. Didn't message you at all, but I constantly saw you in like Clyde's replies and James's replies, and I was like, okay, who is this guy?
I am very active.
Yeah. So I noticed that you were doing like these 1,000-Year Blood War reviews, and kind of to just get straight into it. Did you like just start reading Bleach, or have you read it like 5 years ago, 10 years ago? When exactly did you read Bleach?
So I've been reading Bleach for a while. Should I put a number on it? I was in 8th grade when I first saw Bleach episodes. I dropped it because I was like, "What is this?" Because I was back then. Me and my buddies were watching Naruto, and we were into it. And then one friend comes up and says, "Hey, there's this new show. It's better." I was like, "Really? Put it in." And I saw up to when Ichigo was fighting to protect Orihime from her brother. I was like, "Bro, this is boring. Let's go back to watch Naruto versus Neji." And there was like a huge drought of not watching Bleach. I guess I was too immature to really appreciate it at the time until I was a little older, fell back in love with it. And then, this is still like, I don't know, 10th grade maybe. And since then, I was reading the 1,000-Year Blood War when it was coming out all the time. I just wasn't making content because I didn't have the resources to actually pull this off. But once you start working, making your money, now I can do what I want. And then COVID hit and I was bored. There was nothing to do. And I was like, you know what? Why don't we just start a little project at home? Which is exactly what I did. And it sort of popped off. So I kept doing it. So yeah, I've been doing Bleach. Well, I've been associated with the Bleach on a personal level for a long time.
So what's your favorite chapter, would you say? Like, or favorite moment of the series? Are there multiple that pop out at you, or one specific moment?
My favorite chapter in Bleach is I don't know the exact number, maybe 540 something. The Blade is Me. That is my favorite chapter in Bleach. That's my favorite moment.
Oh, Blade is Me fan. No, I saw your thumbnail and I was like, I was pushing myself. I was like, I have to watch this, but at the same time, I didn't want to. But at the same time, I did, because any discussion on The Blade is Me is fantastic, especially with how it relates to the identity of Ichigo Kurosaki as a whole. But
absolutely,
yeah, love the moment. Probably one of my favorite panels as well. The panel where we have like Zangetsu and White Ichigo above him, and he's just like, I'll now fight with my own power. You know?
Right, yeah, that is Bleach personified through and through. I love that. It's crazy it didn't get, because I don't know if you remember back when the chapter debuted, it didn't get as much love as it should have gotten, considering what it means for the story of Bleach. I hope, at least in the anime, that's different.
I think, that should be interesting how the anime will react to it. Because I think the thing with Bleach, and a lot of stuff with Bleach, is a lot of the reactions come from looking at things from a retrospective perspective. I mean, I've been a fan of Bleach since the 6th grade. Watched the anime back in the day. I actually hadn't checked out 1,000-Year Blood War until, years are passing by. The fact it's been 2 years since the anime announced is crazy to me.
It is.
Like, I'm trying to remember when I exactly read it, but I can't. It is, in my opinion, the best arc of the series. But
agreed.
Oh, let's go. It's so funny because the community is so against 1,000-Year Blood War, but then you come to Bleach YouTube, and among most of the Bleach channels I've asked, most people's favorite arc is the War arc. With the exception of Tekken. But, yeah.
What was Tekken's favorite?
His favorite arc is the Soul Society arc.
Okay, that's fair. It's close. It's a second. But yeah, for me, it's always been the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, because the best of Kubo is in the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. It's just that, unfortunately, some of the worst of Kubo is in there as well, and people just tend to stick to the negative side. But in my opinion, even if you did the math and you stack all the good Kubo did versus all the bad he did in that arc, the good outweighs the bad by quite a bit. So
and
to me,
also at the same time, a lot of the bad that's in the arc you can also see in previous arcs as well if you actually pay attention. Like, people complain about the whole Naneo and Shinsui versus Lilibaro moment with Zanpakuto. Well, at the same time, they had a relic come out of nowhere in the Soul Society arc. We
Right.
had relics come out of nowhere and destroy the can't remember it for the life of me, but the execution phoenix thing. Um,
Oh, right.
the Sosyoku.
The one.
No, not the
It's the Sogyoku.
Sokyoku.
The
Yeah, I
phoenix
had
that
it right.
Yeah.
I had it right, but I backtracked myself. Yeah, so stuff like that, like that's been in Bleach for a while. Whether you dislike it or not is completely fair. I personally don't mind it, but I get why some people aren't the biggest fan of it. But
Right.
yeah.
But like a point about that one, because I think, well, I don't know if that's what people would be thinking about it, but because that was like a Shihoan relic, and we know the Shihoan clan, it was easier to stomach versus what happened with the Now, which was like, I don't know about other people, I can only speak for myself. I was taken out of nowhere. It was like, wait, what are we doing now? What is going on?
Mhm.
Nanao is about to deliver the final blow to the leader of the Stirrer. Like, Kubo, what are you doing? So yeah, I'm one of those people who wasn't a fan because I was like, what the heck is going on, Kubo?
And I think that's
You know?
fair. I do like how it solves the mystery of her Zanpakuto. Because we know she's supposed to have one. She just never
Mhm.
had one. So
Had
there
it,
was obviously something going on there. Especially with how
Absolutely.
close she was with Shunsui. Especially throughout the past arc. Like we see, with Lisa and Nanao. And then Shunsui's also involved there. Like just that mixture of three made there had to be something going on
Absolutely.
there, which is why I don't feel like it comes out of nowhere in a retrospective moment. But when you're reading the series proactively and you're not trying to take a look back at events, it feels like it's like almost out of nowhere, I guess.
Absolutely.
That being said, it still sucks because you get that awesome Bankai reveal by Shunsui, and then he's not even the one to deliver that blow, even though he still technically helps Nanao in the final blow, is holding her.
So though,
But still.
I think, I tend to believe that Kubo wanted to find a way to give Nanao's backstory in there somehow, and I bet he just figured that was the best way to do it, because I don't think any of us would have complained if he had Nanao fight against another Sternritter. It doesn't really matter who it is, and then showcase it that way, because for the Captain Commander to showcase his Bankai, which had been built up for all this time, to not be the one to deliver the finishing blow is kind of like,
Yeah.
what's going on, bro? So, hopefully he can do something about it in the anime. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know at the end of the day. I kind of like how his Bankai didn't deal the final blow in the long run. It's kind of symbolic with the whole Bankai and the meaning behind it, but it still feels weird to not have Shunsui delivering that final blow. But despite that moment, what was your favorite Bankai reveal? Because, we take a look at 1,000 Year Blood War and we had quite a few.
Quite a few. Undoubtedly, unequivocally, I have to go with Yamamoto's Bankai, personally.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Yamamoto's character, he's like the vestige of Soul Society's history.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to reveal his Bankai, especially when he did at the beginning, is Kubo sending a message that we're here, it's time to go. And I don't know what you think about the fact that of how his Bankai was used against the fake Yuha. Is it a real one? I don't know if you're a fan of that or not, but regardless, I loved it. I did.
I'm a fan of it. I think it's very symbolic of Yamamoto's pride and how it was a conclusion to his character. That being said, I know I'm praising. Yeah, I know I'm praising Bleach quite a bit. I think me and James actually talked about that in a previous podcast episode. But I know I praise Bleach a lot, especially with 1,000 Year Blood War. But I have reasons for all my beliefs when it comes to Bleach, and I have just as many problems, even with the 1,000 Year Blood War arc, which in my opinion is one of the greatest arcs in manga.
Absolutely.
Undoubtedly. What do you think of the conclusion, though? I know some people are not the biggest fan of it. Some people are.
Wow, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because I'm one of those people when I initially read the arc, I was like, what the heck happened? And the dominant opinion of the final arc, the ending in the YouTube community at the time, was so negative that it actually it made it difficult for you to actually just think objectively, because so much of what everybody was saying was bad. After all the years and after looking at it over and over, I feel like I got the feeling of what Kubo was trying to do. Like, you can see the element, he just didn't stick the landing. So I don't particularly hate it. I just think it wasn't well executed to the point where in the anime, if the Bankai is still broken and still Silver is still a thing, all those things are 100% fine. It's just he needed more time to explain it and set it up. I would keep things the same way, just build them up better.
I think I agree. I think the only thing that needed better building was Silver, probably. I like most of the other aspects of the fight, but Silver kind of coming off from like the whole left field. I mean, we had like foreshadowing for Silver. I just wish it was a little more prevalent in the 1,000-Year Blood War. Like maybe we switched to Ishin and Ryukin and their mission, and we saw them having to struggle to bring the arrow there. Then we would have kind of at least suspected the importance and the power of this arrow. Because prior to that, we had like such little idea of what kind of power this arrow could have. Even though we had seen Silver in the manga, you know, it still doesn't. It's not comparable in value. In any form.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just one of those things where how we saw Ryukin operate on Ishida's mother, like that right there was probably him trying to find the still Silver, because it was created from the bodies of the dead Quincy's, and she was a victim of that. So it's like, to me, when I read, I'm like, Kubo, he knew what he wanted to do. It's just a matter of the time, the constriction, so I just hope he can figure something out for the anime.
Yeah, and I love the ending of Bleach actually quite a bit. Besides the Silver part, Aizen's moment where he's like, "Welcome to my soul society," 10 out of 10.
Amazing. Yeah.
Speaking of Aizen, what did you think of his role?
I wanted more, but then again, who doesn't want more of Aizen? I definitely wanted more. I wanted. I'm not one of those people who's all gung ho about his Bankai. To me, like Aizen as a character, like Kubo has made it so that he doesn't need to have a Bankai. It's cool if he does, and if he does, I want to see it. But it's not gonna change your opinion on Aizen. Like, what could he do that he hasn't already done to make him any more badass? Yeah,
And I totally agree with that, 100%.
Yeah. So I just want more of him. I just, like, for example, the moment where he goes into, Yuha goes into Mukin to speak to Aizen, and we don't see that. I want to see that because Aizen and Yuha are like the biggest trash talkers in Bleach. Well, one of them. And I want to see them banter back and forth. Like, it's like, I'm a fan of pro wrestling. Well, not as much anymore as I would in the past, but it's like a promo. Promos are hype. All right, I just want to see them go at it.
Yeah, no, I get that. So, kind of to like push, because we're kind of at like a critical part in the Bleach series where a lot of people dislike the series, and where a lot of people think the series fell off, even if we don't necessarily agree that it fully fell off, or at least we agree on that the structure was there at the very least, just not the execution. I think I've said it before. I think every moment of the end I liked up until Silver's introduction into it and how that was handled. I don't think Silver was a Deus Ex Machina by any means, but I do think it was a very poorly handled plot device. Very poorly.
I would have to agree. I mean, it's. I don't want to say extreme because it's not extreme. It's tough to critique Kubo like that because we love him and all. But the fact is, it was there. There were little bits and pieces, but the handling was not up to standard. It just wasn't.
And we can attribute that probably to his poor health at the time. And everything
with a broken shoulder or something.
He had I think it was a ripped shoulder tendon or something like that.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, while drawing manga, and at the same time, he had like a fever going on. If you read the manga notes, like you'll see, he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been sick for a month currently out of this whole year already."
Imagine coming on Twitter and seeing people crying about in your art, because it's like one of those things with Japanese authors that I've begun to understand. That it's not really about criticism, because everybody takes criticism one way or the other, but the work ethic in terms of not living up to the standard that they've set. I think with Tabata, who he was just going to go on a break, and when you look at the way he's writing it, he's like, "I'm so sorry, I have to go on a break." And to you reading, it's like, bro, it's okay. We want you to be healthy. Yeah. It's almost like Oda. They have to force Oda to take a break, otherwise he won't take it. So Kubo pushing himself with a torn ligament and a fever, that's just what they like. That's the price to be great. It just works in their, it doesn't work in their favor sometimes. That's all.
Yeah. And I know the fandom would have been more than happy if Kubo took month breaks, or maybe if Kubo
Absolutely.
took a year off, I know the fandom would be perfectly fine with it. Well,
We definitely would be.
real Bleach fans would be okay with it.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Now we
That
might
is
get
true.
some complaining from a certain someone who likes to report news that he steals, but we're not going to get into drama.
It's good drama, I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much. For watching from a third person perspective, it's certainly not boring.
He just-
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but I do want to ask you this. So in recent times, we've had a lot of drama in the Bleach community. Yeah. James Hansen on Clyde and Seth's stream for one. That big thing happened.
I was there.
Yeah, I was there too. I saw you in the chat. I saw you donating those
there.
bits.
I was there. I was like, yo, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then we also had the whole stream, the long stream that James put out, which was a really great stream. I think I DM'd the guy, and it was very educational, coming from people who haven't been in the Bleach users sphere. But how do you feel about that? Since you're more new and upcoming, you might have been involved in the Bleach community during the time, but you weren't like
on the
like inner circles like you are now, or like you and me are now. So how does that make you feel?
In a way, I wish that my circumstances were different back then to be able to help out some of these people. Like when I hear about when the Bleach hype was down, and there are people like you and me who never lost the passion, but we also weren't creating content. So the responsibility then fell on James, Clyde, Platinum to like carry the burden, like literally carry the burden. When I think about it now, I wish that back then we had the resources we have now to just take the ease off, because strength in numbers. The more of us that are there, the more we can do it. And so that's like, so there's, I don't want to say guilt. There's a little bit of regret as far as that's concerned, but I'm one of those people who wants the Bleach community to be closely knit, especially like with the YouTubers. I'm one of those people who advocates for that. I spoke with DBZ Imran. We posted a video. I edited that part because it was just us personally talking. I'm a fan of the reverie that the One Piece YouTubers do. It's a cool idea. Everybody gets together. We go from channel to channel so that everybody gets a little piece of the pie. It's very structured. When we're like, if we come to your channel, for example, you're the moderator and I'm just a guest. When you come to my channel, now I'm the moderator. Now we get it's very nice. It's very, I know, inclusive. And I wish for what's coming for Bleach, as big as it is, you would want us to use this opportunity and this goodwill and good vibes to really form something. But at the same time, like it or not, in my opinion, James is sitting at the top of that. If Mans doesn't want to do it, it's probably not going to work, because most likely Clyde and DBZ Imran and maybe Tekken and all these people probably share the same opinion. So it's like, if you don't get James to go on board, you're not going to be able to do it. You might be able to do it on your own, but it's going to be much tougher.
No, I agree. I mean, I was trying to put something together before I really knew James all that well. We were in voice chat, and I'm not going to share what we talked about. But, like, hearing the context on a lot of situations was very nice from the videos. And I advocate that for as well for the longest time. DBZ Moran is a GOAT. I've never interact with the guy that often. I think I was in a group chat with him once, but we never scheduled any video. But
great guy.
Yeah, he's a GOAT. Definitely somebody who I recognize as somebody who's great in the community. Definitely experienced, and I share that vision of his, where I want the Bleach community to be unified. But in all reality, it can't be. You can't. Which is unfortunate. We can't have something like the Reverie in the Bleach community where the two biggest Bleach channels don't like each other.
Oh well, so initially I understood that, and this is not a matter of, I don't know, sucking up to people or looking down on other people. It's just reality. There are hierarchies. The fact is, I like where I am now. I'm content with where I am, and I'm growing and whatever. There are levels, all right? Clyde is on a different level. Imran is on a different level. Tekken is on a different level. So, in a way, even when I thought about this idea of the Reverie, this idea of the Bleach community coming together, if Bleach were to actually do that, I never expected me to be part of that. Soul, Clyde, James, Imran, Tekken, it was always going to be them. I was just happy being a fan to enjoy it. But always, I did have an idea that if the A-level dudes are doing their thing, why don't us B-level dudes just do? And now in this situation, if they don't want to do it at all, then it falls on the responsibility of us. I would think to do it because I don't mind. I would do it. I don't know if you're up for it.
I mean, I'd be
I would
down.
totally
I'd
do
be
it.
down. I don't know too many of the small Bleach channels out there,
Yeah, you
so
can make a whole documentary on the Bleach
yeah.
drama.
I feel like that it's interesting because I've done these podcasts in the past. And it's always the same thing, and that's why I try to change things up. That's why I'm talking about kind of a little bit of the drama here because I feel like that would be fun, more fun to get another person's opinion. Who,
Right.
and while you're 8 times my channel size, you're still relatively in the same ballpark, if that makes sense. Rather than say somebody like James, who is like the top of the top, Clyde, top of the top, teching the crowned king. Even though he doesn't do Bleach content anymore, when I think Bleach, I think probably Clyde. I'd say Clyde, James.
I mean, I'm sure he'll be back.
Clyde,
once the
James,
anime comes back, he'll be
or
making
Mr.Tommo.
videos.
One of those 3, I'd say, is kind of like who my brain goes to. Is kind of like the more direct, like the biggest channel in the Bleach community. One of those 3. I think.
Yeah, because like the thing with I'm sorry to cut you off, by the way.
Oh, it's okay.
The thing with, like, for example, with the Mr.Tommo thing, I used to I don't want to say I used to share. I probably do share a lot of the opinions on that James has on him, just not as extreme because the man never did anything to me. Just from the perspective of we can appreciate, like, I appreciate the man's thumbnails. Like, I am such a fan of his thumbnails. The idea, the simplicity is very straightforward. It's also very effective, and I've never spoken to the man, so I always withhold any comments about a person's character. But when I watched his videos, I tend to, because I don't usually have a problem watching other YouTubers' videos. I watch it and support and all that stuff. I watch it and I wasn't really resonating with it. I didn't understand why. I'm not gonna start like throwing stuff at you. It's just I'm one person with one opinion. I can like it, I can dislike it. I just go my way and leave you alone, which is ultimately what I did. If you don't want to do it that way, then you have your channel. Do how you want to do it on your channel.
And you have a right to criticize. I feel like the issue with YouTube is we separate the individual. Like, we don't separate the individual on their channel. Like, their channel is their work, and they are proud of their work. So you should do it respectfully. Now, I will admit, I don't think James should have been as harsh as he was in the stream.
True.
I think in his extra video after that, like his video where he went over everything, he recognized that himself. And I like that aspect. He was like, yeah, I was a little bit angry there, but that was because I was trying to entertain everyone,
The vibes in that stream were it was almost like everyone was drunk and just drunk on, like,
that stream was
crazy.
So much fun though to watch.
It was fun though, I will admit. It was super fun.
But I think a lot of people realize that in order to get better at YouTube, you have to be criticized. So if somebody withholds their opinion on your videos, then I think that's kind of a problem. I would love for some I think there's a level still. Like, I think James took it a bit far. That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop liking James as an individual. James has to be my favorite person in the Bleach community that I've interacted with. He's the only person that has reached out to me before, like afterwards, and has directly. I've been in hour-long voice calls after doing collabs that weren't for videos, and I just hung out with the guy. I mean, James is an amazing individual, and I really do think he's awesome. And
I agree.
It is tough because I do hold some respect for some of the other people that I know that he doesn't like, and I think that's okay. And I don't. He makes comments sometimes when I mention them, but he never. He recognizes that we all hold our own opinions, I feel like, and he respects that. And I love the fact that he's willing to voice his own opinions in the community, even if I don't necessarily agree with all of them. I mean, DBZ on Ran, I think DBZ makes some great content. And I think... And I mean, for me, same thing with Mr.Tommo. I respect that guy based off of my interactions with him. That doesn't mean that I think that James shouldn't hold his views on him. He has the right to think about Mr.Tommo however he wants to think about Mr.Tommo's content. And the individual too, because he's had his own interactions with Mr.Tommo. Well, my interactions with Tommo have been positive only. His interactions have been negative, and we've seen the DMs in the stream. So
and I can like at the end of the day, because we don't know them as people, because we never interacted with them in
Mhm.
person or know their livelihoods, you always have to withhold something back. But what I can respect is the hustle, the work. It's not like, I don't care what you say.
Yeah,
Doing this YouTube thing is not easy. It's very difficult. And for where he's gotten to, like, you don't cheat your way to 100K. Like, I'm sorry, like maybe before I would have been like, oh no, you can't. After getting into it, if you're
yeah,
100K, it's because 100,000 people felt that they liked you enough to subscribe to you.
I totally
That needs
agree.
to count for something. If it's so,
Mhm.
in my mind anyway, if what he's doing is so easy, then do it then.
Yeah.
If it's so easy, then you could do it. But like,
Mhm.
so I respect Mr. Tommo for the hustle required to
Yeah.
get to that level.
Now,
Absolutely.
I don't watch Mr. Tommo's videos anymore. I'll be frank. I used to be massive fan. I collabed with the guy. He was super nice. We've DM'd each other before, but his videos are really long on a lot of information I already know. So while he's an entertaining guy to listen to, as somebody who already knows most of this information, I don't want to listen to a 40-minute video about, a 25-minute video about Aeon. But
Right.
if 50,000 other people do, then fair. Like, do it.
Right.
50,000 people want that content. Give it to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, because this is like an interesting point. I didn't used to live in the United, I live in the United States now, but for the
Hmm.
majority of my life, I was in the United States. And it's very difficult to get your hands on anything like this or read the manga because internet is not readily available. So just imagine some person who's on another side of the world who doesn't have access to these things. And so when we're talking about, oh, if you read the story, then you know, what he's doing is like there's somebody out there who hasn't read it. So like the summary style that he's using is exactly what they need to know what happens. It's like a way for other people who don't have access that we have to get their content. So it's
Hmm.
like, we do need to contextualize that. If it's working so well, it means there's a market. It means that there are that many
Yeah.
people who need to know it. Because I can't speak in general, but the chances of somebody who has read Bleach multiple times wanting to hear someone tell them the summary of Bleach is very low because they're just not going to want to hear it if they already know
Hmm.
it. And so if that many people are watching it, that's how many people haven't read it as much as you think. In my mind, anyway,
Yeah.
that's what I think.
And
All right, let me ask you, like, if I may ask you a question,
yeah.
because I want to know what you think about this. And so, if you're from the perspective of a content creator, when you have to think up content to make, there's some that are easy, like going the summary route and breaking it down is easier
Hmm.
than the analysis part because there's only so much analysis you can do on a finished story,
Yeah.
that hasn't already been set. Like the whole thing with the White Ichigo video, I always felt was that the reason why it is because before I made it, I checked James's video on it, Tomo, Imran's. Has anybody spoken about it from this perspective? No. Then let's make it because it's necessary.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, from a content creator's perspective, if the amount of analysis video you can do that are actually new are finite, is it so bad if you just make content that maybe you probably heard it before, but have you heard it from me? Is it worth doing that then, do you think?
I think yes, because I think no matter what, it's going to be different than another person's
Okay.
perspective. Like there's a
Okay.
finite number of perspectives, but we can combine perspectives. Maybe I share your perspective on Ichigo's character, but I also share James's perspective on Ichigo's character, Then I'm grabbing onto the wheel with both of those perspectives.
Okay.
So I think it's worth it. I don't like the people who claim. You see, I think anybody can make a video on anything, even if
Hmm.
it's already been done before, as long as they add themselves to that video.
Okay.
There was a video that I was planning on making for months, and I don't care if people don't believe me. I mean, I've recorded footage of the videos being written down in a list of ideas prior to the guys releasing the video. But I was gonna make a video talking about the history of the Kenpachi. Mr. Tommo
Right.
made that like a few weeks back. I remember getting the notification being like, "Gosh dang it,
Oh
I
no.
can't do this anymore." I'm still doing it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna wait for it, and I'm gonna add my own spice to it. I haven't watched his video. I don't plan to
Right.
watch his video because the second I watch his video, then I compromise myself putting my own identity in my video, and
Right.
that's why I never watch videos on a topic that I'm planning on making a video on. Now I
Yeah,
am planning on doing
absolutely.
an Ichigo character analysis down the line. I'm a Bleach channel. Every Bleach channel should do an Ichigo character analysis. That is my belief because he is the
Yeah.
protagonist of your series. It makes
Right.
sense. You should explain to people how you view his character. I'm going
Right.
from a whole identity perspective because that's where I think his character drives the most value from. I don't know
Right.
what pathway. I saw that you made one. I couldn't watch it because, like I said, don't want to create that bias. But I don't know which perspective you went
Oh,
down the line
okay.
from.
That wasn't even an analysis. Well,
Oh, that
actually,
wasn't.
it was.
It was
It
something
was. I
like the
think it was
Legend of
the
Ichigo
legend
Kurosaki.
of Ichigo Kurisaki. Yeah, yeah. That
Oh,
was just my attempt at because like I don't know how much you know of One Piece, but sometimes you watch One Piece and there's always like if you read the news in One Piece
hmm
and talk about Monkey D. Luffy defeated Arlong with 40
yeah.
billion berries, whatever, and they just go as though you were reading like a history book. I was just trying to go. It wasn't even about analysis. It
Oh,
was just
okay.
a detailed record of everything Ichigo did from a history story perspective. You know,
Yeah.
my Ichigo character analysis video is in the future. I'm yet to do that. I'll do that one day.
I mean, I think recap content's fun too. I'm working on an entire recap of the entire story of Bleach. And I think that
Ooh,
holds
good
value.
luck with that. That's because
Yeah.
that's a lot. That's
It
a lot of
is a
video.
lot. It is a lot. The thumbnail came out as fire though, so
All
yeah.
right. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. And I think that has a market in the story with the Bleach Anime's return.
Yep.
That still
I'm
doesn't
working.
Yeah.
I'm not working on a. Oh wait, actually, because actually, like when you say recap, do you mean like you analyzing it, or do you mean
No,
something else?
just direct recap. Me retelling the entire manga in abbreviated form.
Okay, but so is it vocal, like a vocal retelling?
Yeah, a vocal retelling.
Okay. What I've been planning to do, I've been keeping this on the down low, like the super down low,
Mm-hmm.
is what I wanted to perspective on the same thing. Like,
Mhm.
everybody has their own opinion
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Overall, I get James's frustration at the end of the day, and I think it's totally fair that he has that frustration. And I respect
Absolutely.
the man for holding it, and I think he's great that he's at least holding on to his opinion. I think the people who stand with James and speaking of which, the Ichirukis are disgusting. Can we talk about that? But yeah.
Oh my goodness. I have my fair share of Ichiruki problems on like the because I run an Instagram page and I usually run into them a lot over there. It's crazy. It's gonna happen. I mean, it's like one of those things. Like I have this. Well, I've already recorded this video. For to it's gonna be like I'm gonna post it right before Jump Festa on toxicity, and and in the video I'm going to let people know that if you want Bleach to be successful, like to blow up, you're going to have to deal with these negative, toxic fan bases coming in, like the animation junkies who only care about big booms or whatever. And those who are going to accuse Kubo of like Nazi whatever, it's gonna happen. Like, you just get ready, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Or the people who are going to talk about Kubo's character designs of the female being like overly sexualized or whatever, it's gonna happen. So Ichiruki's and Ichihime is canon, but like those things are gonna happen. Bleach fans, you need to brace for it because it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's
I'm
gonna
just
happen.
upset Chadigo never happened, but we don't talk about that.
Chadigo? No. No, thank you. No.
That's a meme here on the channel, Chadigo.
Chadigo. Ichigo doesn't roll that way.
Hey yo, you never know. You never know.
Anyway. Well, that's true. That's true. You never know.
But yeah. I don't know how much this is gonna be chopped up. Obviously, there's some stuff that's gonna be censored, some stuff that's gonna be talked about. At the end of the day, I think we both do agree that everybody deserves some base level of respect to a degree.
Absolutely.
And we recognize the grind that content making takes. And I think drama is gonna happen in every community. Now, right now, Bleach community kind of in the Civil War, but yeah. This went from a 1,000-Year Blood War podcast to a drama podcast fast.
That's when you know the podcast is good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Organic.
So what's your least favorite moment? And you talked about the Blaze Me. That's your favorite moment. So obviously that's the moment that you want to see get anime the most. What's the scene that you think is gonna break the internet in 1,000-Year Blood War? But what's the scene that you think is gonna be the worst scene in 1,000-Year Blood War?
Ooh, that's a tough one. If Kubo still breaks Ichigo's Bankai, that is going to be the one that gets like if he not necessarily just break it. If he breaks it without fixing the explanation that like to this day we can come up with a million theories. We still don't know what his Bankai is, and for some reason he's always ducking questions about it in Club Outside. Like he specifically does not answer the questions about each of his. It makes me think he has an idea, but if we get there and there isn't a change, I think that's probably what's going to. I don't want to say it's not gonna damn Bleach or anything, but to me that's like the biggest negative that can come out of it. Bigger than Byakuya surviving or I don't know, whatever. To me that's the biggest thing.
I think Pepe will be the biggest thing, but we don't talk about that.
Are people gonna be like? I mean, he's a meme. People are gonna make fun of it. I don't think people are actually gonna be.
I feel bad for the animator that has to animate Pepe.
It's not. I mean, hey, they've animated worse monster-looking things.
I disagree. Nothing looks worse than Pepe.
My goodness, poor Pepe. He's going through it.
No,
Giselle, maybe actually, I take that back. Giselle might probably be the most controversial part.
Oh,
whether is he a boy who's a girl or a male who's like that whole thing is going to be.
I feel like I definitely agree because I don't think it's gonna be censored this time around. You gotta think all those anime like people who are soft when it comes to what they can stomach didn't actually see the extent Mayuri abused Nemu. I'm pretty sure the anime like the anime still showed it, but it censored it to very far degrees. Whereas I don't think Thousand Year Blood War is going to censor Gazelle's and Bambietta's relationship.
Right. That's very. I got one scene with the blood thing, and I was like, Kubo, what are you doing, bro? This is like this one page where we got to keep this PG. But it looked like she was doing something. I was like, what's going on over there, Kubo?
I also want to know how the internet's gonna react to when Gazelle says that she's a girl, and then Yumichika says that she's a guy. I don't know if Yumichika is gonna be canceled, if Bleach will be canceled from a bunch of people on Twitter, but I have a feeling there's gonna be
conversation.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be controversial. That's for sure. At the very least.
Oh, I don't know what they're gonna do. It's gonna be tough. I mean, like Kubo was in the studio. You're gonna tell Kubo that you don't want, because like Kubo is in the studio with them. I think it's gonna be added. I think so.
I think some stuff will be added. I don't think there's gonna be as many changes as people think. Like, I don't think Byakuya is gonna die this time around.
I mean, we need Byakuya for the Hell arc anyway, so
yeah, and
that ship has sailed.
And same for the light novel. Byakuya doesn't play like a key role, but he's a part of it, and he would be decanonizing so much just to do one thing in Thousand Year Blood War anime production. Yeah. But overall, I think this was pretty fun. We covered a lot of stuff that hadn't been covered before, mostly Bleach Drama, and maybe a younger the B tier Bleach YouTuber reverie.
hopefully it can happen.
Yeah, maybe
they got it. They're out there. We just gotta.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, check out Flame of Rebirth's channel. He makes really good Bleach content. Analyzes it in his own viewpoint. He's on that grind.
I expect all of us to get a boost once the anime, I expect all of us to.
I think all the Bleach YouTubers are gonna just explode.
Yeah. I'm waiting. Not to sound, because I don't want to be all selfish. Oh, you're only doing this for monetary. No. But honestly, this takes a lot of work, and everybody wants to grow. There's no shame in it.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. And heck, I switched to Bleach at a disadvantage. I had already had my channel make content on other fields, and the switching to majority Bleach content was actually at first lower in views than higher. But now it's built up to be higher. And with you, I still see you producing videos on ReZero occasionally. If you were all about just what gets you views, you would stop the ReZero content. You would only post Bleach content.
Right. And I mean, and the only thing with the ReZero one is it's not really about me not making, because I'm not making as much anymore. It's the issue of reading the light novel. That author writes so much. When I'm reading the light novels, the content is a lot. I'm like, bro, what are you doing, bro? I need to move on to other things. So it'll happen. Yeah.
I'm talking
if
about
the anime comes back, I'm gonna get on it.
Like you made a Mushoku Tensei discussion video, and I think that's important. I think it's important to diversify at the same time as maining in one thing. But yeah, overall, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the podcast. Again, check out Flame of Rebirth's channel, subscribe to my own, drop a like, comment down below your thoughts on today's guest, and I will see you guys all in the next video.